A very warm welcome to Seong-Jin Cho and to Paavo Järvi, longtime friends of the orchestra, and we have also our artist in residence here. This time, what's our first concert together? You will play the Shostakovich First Piano Concerto with us, and this piece is maybe not a usual piano concerto. Maybe tell us more, what makes it so special?
I would say it's kind of double concerto with the trumpet and the piano. And Shostakovich composed this piece when he was quite young. And whenever I play this piece, you know, I've never experienced the Soviet time in my life, but so probably I'm not there to say, but I can feel the Soviet time whenever I listen to this concerto. Not only this concerto, but like Shostakovich symphonies in general. So, and Guillaume is my good friend, so I'm looking forward to performing with him.
So, as you said, it's like kind of a double concerto in a way. What kind of roles do you have? You have a different role than Guillaume on the trumpet, obviously, but how do you connect? What's the relationship of you two?
Obviously, I have more notes than Guillaume, but still, there are many conversations between the trumpet and the piano. And of course, trumpet has a very important role in the second movement and also in the last movement. It has very long and beautiful solo.
Yes.
So for me, it is a big version of chamber music.
Also in a very modest orchestra setting, let's say. Just
only for string.
Just with strings. So, and of course, Shostakovich wrote this in a very troubled time of his life. Do you think we can hear his trouble? Do we hear the artist, the composer in struggle, or is he just showing us his virtuosity as a composer?
Well, I think he was trying to be sarcastic.
Yes.
Of course, I believe that he struggled a lot, but he just tried to be sarcastic as much as possible, like especially in the last movement. Somehow it is fun to play, but somehow it is also has a very dark humor. So yeah.
For you, Paavo, who has actually experienced the Soviet time.
Yes.
So, yes. So what is you both obviously agree probably on this, but what's your take on?
You know, Shostakovich earned his living as a small young man playing piano at the silent movie theaters. And the music, I think the way one should look at this music is not so much in a classical structural way, but literally jumping from one scene to another scene. You know, imagine these black and white films, and they are quite fast because the technology wasn't really up to date as we know it now, and also the cuts were very abrupt, and your characters change sometimes without any warning and with any preparation, and this illustrative aspect, I think, is what actually makes this so interesting. So if one starts looking at this kind of a, you know, of course we have an appassionato, we have all the little quotations which Shostakovich is filled with, but at the same time, the kind of reverence that we now give to Shostakovich as a great composer should be, you know, left backstage. We should revere him, but this music is not about beauty, and music is about character. It's illustrative. It's an absurd, ridiculous music. I mean, the most banal. But who could make banal great? Shostakovich. Who could make all of that stuff put into the context of having a subtext? And because Shostakovich was so unbelievable in the way he knew how to connect to the audience. Every Russian will know these little cartoon tunes. Yes. There are certain moments, just exactly like in Mahler, he knows how to bring you with a right Ländler or a march or something into the world that he needs you to be in. So there are a lot of messages. It's not only sarcastic, of course it's sarcastic, but it also has a lot of depth, like a second movement. It's like a young man dreaming of going to US. You know, it's like the myth of hearing Miles Davis, who wasn't born yet, but you know, this kind of a jazzy trumpet thing with a mute. The whole thing leaves so much for imagination. And one of the worst things that could have happened to pianists is the possible that one tape that we have of Shostakovich playing it himself, because it is a great moment to witness. But now every pianist thinks that this is the way it should be played. No, that's the way he played at that moment as a young man, under a lot of scrutiny from a government and musicians.
What you're saying, Paavo, is of course raising a lot of questions. Number one is like, is the composer the best interpreter of his own music? Of course. Yes or no?
But it's interesting to know him, how he did it. But you have total license, and one needs to understand the absurdity and also the danger and the inner stress of that time, yes. the brutality of that time that can only be described as absurd. And that music describes it so well.
Obviously, this piano concerto, and also because you mentioned jazz and trumpet and everything, his interest in entertaining music shows his versatility. I mean, he was also, of course, he had to compose also some film music.
But it was such fantastic music.
Absolutely, but he just shows what a range of services he had to deliver to the demands of the party in a way. And of course, this versatility is what makes him also, in a way, an enigma, because you wonder, where is Shostakovich, the real Shostakovich, and where is the serviceman who can just, write anything he wants.
Exactly.
But what else is there this season for you to play with us?
Next year I'll be performing the Beethoven's Piano Concerto No.5. And then I have a chamber music project with the musicians.
Yes. So what is there?
I'll be playing Brahms Clarinet Trio and Ligeti Horn Trio, and Bartók Piano Quintet, which is very early work. This is like kind of Hungarian theme. And I'll be also performing with the Karajan Academy orchestra, like chamber music version of Chopin Concerto. Yeah, and then Beethoven Piano Quintet with winds.
So you're showing yourself in all kinds of facets. Like, do you have, because you mentioned the chamber music concert with the Brahms and the Ligeti and the Bartók, it seems at least Bartók and Brahms were also very active as pianists, just like Shostakovich in a way as well. So it's like you're playing the pianist's music, so to speak, a little bit.
It was not my intention, but
yeah, but it happens.
By coincidence.
Yeah, in the process.
But anyway, if you hear the Bartók's Piano Quintet, you can clearly hear that Bartók was influenced by Brahms. This is very early work, and of course there's some elements that Bartók's like signature, but the last movement especially, you can hear some Hungarian theme which Brahms used to use so many times.
Brahms was obviously, knowingly
best Hungarian composer.
Best Hungarian composer, and also Brahms. He was a big student of Hungarian folk music, so to speak. But this is because we have the same situation also with Bartók, that there's a lot of historical recordings, of course, him playing his own works, and you also wonder always as a pianist, I guess, like, is this valid, or how do you develop your own voice with that music? It's like
not only Bartók, but like, for example, Rachmaninoff. He made great recordings, but it's a great recording, but I try not to imitate his recording work playing whenever I play Rachmaninoff's piano concertos. Of course, it can be a reference, but for me, it is important to find my own voice. So in order to do that, I just try not to listen so much of his recording.
So there's, of course, very low pressure playing Beethoven with the Berlin Philharmonic Piano Concerto, obviously. How are you doing this about? How do you go about when you play a new piece or you study a new piece, like now with the Shostakovich? Like, what is your process?
Like every concertos, I think I have different process, like in terms of practicing or preparing the concert. But the first time I heard that I was invited to be the artist in residence with the Berlin Philharmonic, I really wanted to play the German repertoire with this orchestra. And I thought about Beethoven, and Beethoven No. 5 is the piece that I've been playing since I was a kid.
Okay.
So it is a totally different music. For Beethoven, for me, it's structure. The structure is very important. And it's very almost opposite from the Shostakovich Piano Concerto. The small elements, they're very important for Shostakovich. while the Beethoven has very clear structure, and so you have to have totally different approach depending on the concertos.
So we are, of course, very, very much looking forward to see you in all these different roles this season, and wish both of you, of course, a very, very happy concert with the Shostakovich concert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.